What's up, everybody? Welcome to another monthly ranking video where I rank every first watches of each month, individually, of course. But yeah, today I will be ranking every movie that I watched for the first time in April of 2024. All right, so this one, we got we got 13 movies, so that's not bad. Yeah, and a lot of these are from the year 2020 because I was working on the my 2020 ranking. So about 5 of them I think are from 2020, and then the first 3 are from the director. What's his name? Scott Derrickson, I think. Yeah, and then a, a few like just randoms, I guess you can say. One Disney movie. But yeah. All right, so let's go ahead, waste no time. Let's go ahead and get started. So, all right, coming in at number 13, we have, like I said, the first 3 are from the director Scott Derrickson, who is mostly a horror movie director, and I think all of these, except for maybe number 12, are horror films. I don't know if that's a horror movie, maybe in some ways, but coming in at number 13, we have the Exorcism of Emily Rose. I did not like this movie at all. It was really boring, and just it barely even felt like a horror movie. It was mostly just like courtroom drama, which I don't mind courtroom dramas, but this one was really boring. Like the only horror elements was the flashbacks with Emily Rose, and yeah, just wasn't into it. Laura Linney is in this movie. She was fine, I guess. She plays a lawyer, but she plays a lawyer in a much better movie, which was Primal Fear. That was actually the first movie I ever saw with her, and yeah, and she, like I said, she's okay, but yeah, she's much better in Primal Fear, and this movie just, yeah, I did not like this movie. It was beyond boring and just not interesting. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be based on a true story, but I don't believe in like exorcism, all that stuff. So yeah, but but the Exorcism of Emily Rose, that's my number 13. Coming at number 12, we have Scott Derrickson's remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still, and okay. I like this one slightly better because it wasn't all the way boring. At moments it was, and it wasn't a good movie, but it was okay, I guess. It didn't piss me off or anything. It was just whatever. I will say, Keanu Reeves was actually not terrible in this movie. Like, it might be one of his best performances. He's mostly, of course, known for like playing. Like a lot of the times his acting is. Let me turn this phone down. Sorry. But a lot of times his acting is like really bland and stale. And it was in this movie, but however, it actually worked with the character that he was playing because I'm not even sure. I think his character was like an alien or something. I don't know, but it worked. It actually worked. Jennifer Connelly is in this movie, one of my queens, and she was all right. She wasn't bad. However, for some reason, her son was played by what's his name, Jaden Smith, and I thought that was just bizarre. Like, what? Why Jaden Smith? That was so weird. I will say, Jaden Smith, he's not a good actor, but this might be his best performance. He was actually decent in it. So yeah. It was just weird that Jaden Smith played Jennifer Connelly's son. That is just, it has to be one of the most bizarre, like, parent couplings. I don't know what the fuck you would call it, but like just a weird like mother son casting. That has to be one of the weirdest for sure. But yeah, The Day the Earth Stood Still. I plan on watching the original. Okay, one thing I will say too, the CGI is pretty awful. It was pretty bad. So yeah, but I might watch the original one these days, and I've heard it's much better. But yeah, the 2008 Day of the Year Stood Still, directed by remake directed by Scott Derrickson. That is my number 12. And coming in at number 11 is my favorite out of the three Scott Derrickson movies that I watched, but it's still not good. But I actually enjoyed this just a little better than these two. That is my number 11, Hellraiser Inferno, which I think came out in the year 2000 and was just like a straight to DVD sequel. It wasn't good, but I found it to be a little bit more entertaining, and it was kind of weird because it didn't really feel much like a Hellraiser movie until like the final act, but it felt more just like a detective movie. That's what it was. It was a detective story. And the actor who played the lead guy, he wasn't good. He was pretty bad, actually. The CGI looked really bad. Early 2000s CGI. Yeah. Of course, you got Pinhead, who was barely in the damn movie, but yeah, he was good, as always, that actor. I forgot his name, but he was good. But yeah, this was actually only the second Hellraiser movie I've ever seen after, of course, the original, the first one, which I really like. That's actually a really good horror film. This one wasn't good, but I didn't hate it. It was okay. It was just okay. Will I ever watch it again? Probably not. Unless if I was to do a Hellraiser ranking, then yeah, I probably would. But yeah, it was whatever. That's my number 11, Hellraiser Inferno. Coming at number 10, we have Ava, which was directed by Tate Taylor, and it stars Jessica Chastain. This movie... okay, actually there's 6, not 5. There's 6 2020 films. So, this one, was this is one of the 2020 movies I watched, and this was, I think, my first Tate Taylor film too. He's the guy who did The Help, and I forget what else. I think he did the James Brown biopic with what's his name, Chadwick Boseman, playing James Brown. I think he did that one and some other movies, but this one, Jessica Chastain's in it. Oh, and Gina Davis as well, and also John Malkovich and Colin Farrell. It was okay. There was things about it I liked. I thought all the performances were pretty damn good. Jessica Chastain was great. John Malkovich was good. Colin Farrell was pretty good. Gina Davis was good, but I kind of felt her character was a bit odd because she was like the comic relief almost. She played Ava's mom, but it just felt kind of weird that she was like kind of the comic relief in this movie. I don't know, but one thing I will say, I really liked the character of Ava. I thought she was really cool. She was such a badass. And Jessica Chastain played her very well. But however, I wasn't a fan of the story, and one thing I absolutely hated about this movie was the fucking ending. The ending was terrible. It kind of felt like they were setting up a sequel almost, because it was kind of like a cliffhanger ending, and it was like what I really hated about it. I'll try to say it without spoiling, but they did something where, like I said, it kind of almost seemed like it was it felt like it wasn't over, and it was like a kind of like, like I said, like they're maybe setting up a sequel, maybe, but also I doubt this movie is going to get a sequel because it didn't do very well. So yeah, I doubt it, but almost like a interpretation kind of thing. Is like, well, is something going to happen? And it felt like, I was engaged, and then the movie just ended. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? If you've seen the movie, you might know what I'm talking about. But it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. And I absolutely hated that ending. It was just so bad. Like, I almost gave this movie a 6 out of 10, but I gave it a 5 because of that ending was just terrible. But the movie, I don't think is overall. I don't think the movie's that terrible. It's just, it's an okay movie. The story's not really that interesting, but at least it has an interesting protagonist and a great performance by Jessica Chastain, and all the other actors are pretty good too. But yeah, just not a fan. My cat is meowing. I don't know if you can hear her, but anyways, that's my number 10. Coming at number 9, we have another 2020 movie. It is Little Fish, starring Olivia Cooke. All right, I'll be right back. My cat's kind of distracting me. Be right back. Okay, so sorry about that. Anyways, Little Fish is my number 9. It stars Olivia Cooke. This was an interesting movie. Unlike Ava, this story was actually very interesting. So this movie is about a couple living in a world where there's this virus that's going on, but the virus makes you lose your memory. And the couple are, they're trying, one of them kind of catches the virus, and they're just, trying not to forget each other. It's a pretty interesting concept, I have to say. Kind of sad, but very interesting. And yeah, I thought the movie overall was pretty good, but a little, I don't know, it's a little forgettable. That's pretty ironic, actually. It's a pretty forgettable movie about forgetting. So, but it is kind of forgettable. Like, I don't think I'll ever watch it again. It was very slow and just, I don't know. It just wasn't great. There's another movie on here coming up that's very slow, and I don't think I'll rewatch it either, but I thought it was better than this one. This one was just a little too slow for me, and just, I wasn't in it all the way. I thought the other one was a lot better at that being really slow, because that one wasn't really that boring. This one coming up at number 6, but this one was a little bit boring, just a little bit, not all the way, but it was a little bit. But yeah, I thought it was decent. I thought it was very well written. Olivia Cooke was great. So was the actor played her husband. I don't remember who that was, but yeah, it was a decent movie. Just, I don't think I'll ever watch it again though. It's one and done. But yeah, Little Fish. That's my number 9. Okay, coming at number 8, we have the one Disney movie on here. Some of y'all might be shocked that I never seen it before. I've seen bits and pieces of it, like, as a kid, but I never, until recently, watched it all the way through. That is Cinderella. Yeah, the original Disney Cinderella. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Pretty good. It's not like a movie. It's not one of my favorite Disney movies, but it's decent. It's very decent. It was pretty funny. I actually kind of laughed a lot. The cat Lucifer, which I think that's hilarious. Like, this evil cat named Lucifer, but he was probably my favorite character. The mice were pretty funny too. And the story is it's whatever. But yeah, it was a decent Disney film, and yeah, I mean, I might revisit it one of these days, but it was okay. Not really much to say. Just a decent Disney film. That's it. But yeah, that's my number 8 is Cinderella. Coming at number 7, we have a sequel to a great comedy film, and this one was not bad. That is Borat, subsequent movie film. The sequel to, of course, Borat from 2006, starring Sacha Baron Cohen. And this one also stars him, and, obviously. And, this was an interesting watch, I have to say. I do like the original Borat. It's pretty funny. It's kind of cringy, but, it works. And this one takes the cringe and turns it up to 11. It's even more cringier, but it was still kind of enjoyable. I mean, of course, Sacha Baron Cohen was great as Borat, as he was in the first movie, but I actually really enjoyed the actress who played his daughter. I thought she was fantastic. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she even got an Oscar nom, which is kind of odd that this movie got any Oscar noms, but I believe she did. And while she was really good, I don't know if I would say it was Oscar worthy, but it was still a really good performance, and she had great chemistry with Sacha Baron Cohen. They were the best parts of this movie, just them two together. And there was some very cringy stuff, though, with them two. There was one scene in particular where I'm just like, oh my god! It was just like the stuff that they were saying and whatever. It was the scene, I would say a little bit, it was a scene that was involving them at, like, I think an abortion clinic or something. And they said that they were trying to get a baby out of the daughter. It wasn't a real baby. It was like something that she ate off of a cupcake that was like a decoration on it. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But like the whole time, I was cringing so hard, and especially on Borat at the stuff he was saying. And I'm like, stop saying it. It was just wow. Those are also a pretty cringy dancing scene too. If you've seen the movie, you should know what I'm talking about. But the first movie was pretty cringy too. I think the only thing that I thought was very cringy about that movie was the nude fight with Borat and the producer. And it was pretty funny though. It was. But anyways, though, but yeah, Borat subsequent movie film, I thought it was a decent sequel. I don't like it as much as I like the first movie, but it's a decent sequel. It really is. Yeah, not really much to say. Just like decent sequel to a movie that was already cringy, but this one's even more cringier. But, it was still pretty good. I enjoyed it for the most part, other than me cringing hard at stuff. Man, I used to hate that word cringe. I never liked it before. Now I'm saying it just, but I don't know how else to describe it. It's a very cringy movie. But, yeah, it's decent, though. So, yeah, Borat subsequent movie film, that's my number 7. Okay, so coming at number 6, now we have the other slow movie that, kind of like Little Fish that I watched, but this one I liked a lot better. Now, I will say the story isn't as interesting as Little Fish, but like this one's just like a simple story. But my number 6 is Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. This was a very... I enjoyed this movie. It was really slow, and that makes me not want to watch it again. But this one was pretty interesting. I really enjoyed the filmmaking in this movie a lot, actually. It's like very independent, but I thought the director did a great job doing this film. The lead actress was really good. What's her name? Cindy Flanagan. She was outstanding in this film. She was really good. And the actress who played her cousin too, Talia Ryder, also good. Yeah, this is a simple story. This is just about a teenager, like a 17-year-old girl who gets pregnant, and she doesn't want her parents to find out. Her cousin finds out, and her cousin helps her out and says, "All right, let's get rid of this." So they try to go to an abortion clinic in New York, and yeah, that's the movie. That's pretty much it. Just them going to New York to take care of this situation that this teenager doesn't want her parents to find out. It's pretty much it. And yeah, it's really slow. Like, I can see a lot of people not liking this movie because they could say it's pretty boring, but I didn't really think it was that boring, honestly. It was very slow, but not particularly boring. Um, like, I found it kind of just cool. Like, I think because of the filmmaking and and like other stuff, the performances too. Like I said, just yeah, it was just really good. And there's one scene in particular that I think I might have cried at, or I came really close to crying. I think I did a little bit. Like, it got me. It was the scene that involved. It's where the title of the movie comes to play. If you've seen the movie, you should know. But wow, that scene was. It was really sad, but it was done very well. And Cindy Flanagan's performance in that scene was amazing, and just it was just wow. It was really good, but it got me. It really did. Like, I think I did cry just a little bit. So yeah. But yeah, it's a good movie. It really is. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. I just like I can go the rest of my life without ever watching it again. It's just it's just a simple story, simple movie, very well done, but a very good movie. But I just can't see myself watching it again. It's just just one and done. But it's a good one and done. It really is. So yeah, never, rarely, sometimes, always. That's my number 6. All right, so I'm gonna pause this real quick. I gotta respond to a text that I got. So I'll be right back. Okay, coming in at number 5, yet another 2020 movie. This is a horror film, and that is The Invisible Man, starring what's her name? Elizabeth Moss, I think. Yes, Elizabeth Moss. Yeah, this movie was really interesting. This one, I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it was, honestly. Like, I'm actually shocked that this was good. Because also, if I remember correctly, I think this came out, like, early in 2020. Like, I think I want to say, like, in January or maybe February. I just remember it being really early, though, when it came out in 2020. And usually movies, like early movies, especially horror movies, they're usually not good when they come out that early. But so I wasn't expecting this to be good, but then I heard some people say it was pretty good, and I'm like, really? And yeah, I checked out myself, and I was shocked. This movie was really damn good. I really liked it. Yeah. I need to watch it again, but because there was a little bit of issues I had in the ending, honestly. I didn't think it was a bad ending, but I was like, I don't know, it kind of confused me, not gonna lie. But that's just me. But no, I really enjoyed this, and I guess this is supposed to be kind of a remake to the 30s movie, The Invisible Man. But I know they changed. I never had seen that one, but I know they had to change a lot though. So I don't know if you can call it maybe a reboot, I guess, but I thought it was really good though. And I thought Elizabeth Moss was outstanding. Really good, really great horror movie performance, and she nailed it. I also have a huge crush on her now because of this movie. So yeah. Okay, one thing I will say that I thought was actually not good about this movie was the CGI. I did not like the CGI. I thought the CGI was pretty bad. Especially like whenever it showed like floating objects, which of course was supposed to be the Invisible Man, like the knife, and I think there might have been a gun too, maybe. But that looked pretty bad, and like the Invisible Man himself, like whenever she like poured paint on him, that didn't really look all that great either. And yeah, that CGI was pretty bad. Not gonna lie, but other than that, and other than a few nitpicks with the ending, I still enjoyed this film, and I thought it was surprisingly good, surprisingly really good. So yeah, The Invisible Man. That's my number 5. And then coming at number 4, we have the final movie, final 2020 movie that I watched. And I'll go ahead and say, spoilers for that ranking, but this is my favorite movie of 2020. That's my number 4 is Palm Springs. Talk about another movie that I was shocked I liked. Like when I first heard of this movie, mostly because of Andy Samberg, I didn't think I was going to like this movie. I'm not an Andy Samberg fan. Just other stuff that I've seen him in. He's usually just not funny and kind of cringy, like a lot of the times. Like Hot Rod, I thought was okay, but he was pretty cringy in that movie. And just other stuff that I've seen him in. I think I've seen some of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I didn't really like it all that much because I thought he was cringy in that show. But yeah, just not a fan of him. But I gotta say, he was actually really good in this movie. He wasn't really that cringy, like not at all. Like he actually played this. You know, of course he was funny. Of course he had comedic moments, but he was actually pretty funny, and he played this role very well. And the same with the actress, Kristen Milotti. I guess I don't know, but she was outstanding as well. I don't know. I haven't seen her in anything. I don't think. Oh right, okay. She was in The Wolf of Wall Street. I think she played Leo's first wife in that movie. So okay, I have seen her, but yeah, but she was great in this movie too. They're both really good together. Had great chemistry. Also, J.K. Simmons is in this movie, which I was really shocked to see him in this. But he was great. His character was pretty funny, and yeah, and I gotta say, this movie was really kind of weird. Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting this movie to be as weird as it was, but it was pretty strange for a comedy and just this premise too. So if you don't know what this movie is about, this is basically kind of similar to Groundhog Day, one of those time loop movies. But I gotta say, I thought the time loop stuff was done even better than Groundhog Day. I do like Groundhog Day, don't get me wrong, and the time loop stuff was used pretty well in that film. But I think this one did it better. Like this took it up to 11 and just like made it do some crazy stuff. Pretty interesting. It's a very interesting story, and it's a good comedy. You might even call this a romantic comedy, maybe too. But yeah, I really liked this movie. I thought it was really good. It surprised me of how much I liked it because, like I said, I wasn't expecting to like this movie that very much, but I did. I really enjoyed it, and it's now my favorite movie of 2020. Spoilers for the ranking, but which I think that might be my next video, perhaps my ranking for the all the 2020 movies I've seen. So look out for that. But yeah, really enjoyed Palm Springs, and that's my number 4. Coming at number 3, we have a film by Robert Rodriguez, and that is Desperado. Yeah, I finally got to see Desperado, and I really enjoyed it. It was so good. Not as much. I don't like as much as From Dusk Till Dawn, but it's still a really good movie. It's insanely violent, but it's Robert Rodriguez, so what do you expect? And it was surprisingly pretty funny. I wasn't expecting it to be that funny, but it was. Like, it's pretty much the same humor as From Dusk Till Dawn. Like, it does. And, like, there's actually a lot of people in this movie. Of course, you got Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek. I think everybody knows them in this movie. You also got, of course, Robert Rodriguez originals, or regulars, I should say, like Cheech Marin and Danny Trejo, and even Quentin Tarantino has a short little cameo in this film. You also got Steve Buscemi. I was actually really shocked to see him in this movie, but I loved him in this film. I love him in everything, though. But anyone else? Am I missing anybody? Maybe that's it. But at least of who I know. But yeah, all great, all fantastic. I think all of them had some funny moments here and there too, and just a badass movie. And I haven't seen El Mariachi yet, which was the first installment into this trilogy. And I guess you can call it the El Mariachi trilogy, maybe. This was the second installment. I haven't seen the third one either, which was Once Upon a Time in Mexico. But I'm really looking forward to watching those. I wanted to watch El Mariachi first, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So that one does have Antonio Banderas in it, actually. But it's actually a different actor playing the character in that movie. And that movie might be in... I think that movie might be in Spanish, too, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's all in Spanish, while this movie, most of it was in English. But yeah, really enjoyed this film. Just a great Robert Rodriguez film. I would say my second favorite right now, after, of course, From Dusk Till Dawn. But yeah, really liked this movie. And that's my number 3, Desperado. Okay, coming in at number 2... these last 2 movies I own. This one, I blind bought this one pretty much. Although I did hear about it before I got it, because I heard about it. I thought it had an interesting premise, but I didn't really watch. Well, of course, I didn't know much about it. I just knew a little bit, and but I don't know. Maybe you can say blind bought. I don't know. I just got it just because. But but my number 2 is a pretty underrated film. I don't think a lot of people has even heard of it. But it came out in 2016, I believe, and that is Please Stand By. Yes, starring Dakota Fanning, Toni Collette, and Alice Eve. So this movie, I did hear just a little bit about it. Like, I think I found it on Letterboxd, and I read the premise, and it sounded interesting to me. So this movie is about an autistic young woman named played by Dakota Fanning, and she's a big Star Trek fan, and her intentions are to she's writing a script for this contest. Writing a Star Trek script, like for a contest to enter, for I guess the next Star Trek movie, and yeah, it's and she doesn't have much time, so she goes and travels herself to Hollywood to cash in this script, and it's that's pretty much it. But this is a really good movie. This was very, very well written and well acted by Dakota Fanning, and she played an autistic person very well. Toni Collette is also very good. Alice Eve as well. She plays her sister, and also Patton Oswalt has a short little cameo by the end of it, and I really liked his cameo. He was really good. But yeah, this was very interesting. So let me explain some stuff here. I'm actually going to reveal something about myself that I don't think I have ever revealed on the channel. But yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. That's why I never said it. It's personal too, but I'll go ahead and say it. I myself, if you couldn't tell already, by if you see my channel, I'm autistic myself. Yeah. So watching this movie as an autistic person, this movie really spoke to me. Like the message, like even if you are autistic, you can still do good things. You can, sure, there's some stuff that might be holding you back, but you can accomplish your dreams. That's the message right there, and that really spoke to me right there. Like like anybody who is autistic, and even if you're not autistic, I still think you should see this movie because just in case you do have someone close to you who is autistic, and you have a hard time like communicating with them because like my family too, because the thing about this movie, like it has like the relationship of Dakota Fanning and her sister played by Alice Eve, and they have a difficult relationship because she's different, because Dakota Fanning is different and she has a hard time understanding her, and I have a similar relationship with some of my family members, because I'm autistic as well. I'm different. So yeah. So like even if you're not autistic, I still and especially if you have a hard time understanding autism, I do recommend this movie. But if you are autistic, I also recommend it as well because it's very, very inspiring for sure. Because I have dreams myself. I want to be a musician as well as maybe a filmmaker too. And because those are my two passions is film and music. If you don't know, I mean, you should if you know my channel. And there's a lot of things that is holding me back, and it's hard to do. But I'm in a band currently, so that's really awesome. And so I'm somewhat accomplishing my dreams. See, like, maybe you could tell by the way I'm talking and stuff. Maybe you could tell that I'm autistic. I have Asperger's. That's a form of autism. That's, like, the big thing for me. But, and I will say the character that Dakota Fanning plays is not... She's actually worse. I could tell that she had it worse than me. Like, she had it really rough. I mean, my life is pretty bad too. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I can't really deal with, but I'm definitely trying my best. And yeah, so it was really cool seeing her, like, kind of heartbreaking and stuff too, deal with her certain stuff, but yes, but she was outstanding in this film. Like, the best performance by Dakota Fanning I have ever seen. She's a good actress too. Don't get me wrong. I like her sister a bit better, but Elle Fanning. But they're both very talented. So yeah. But she was outstanding in this film. And yeah, just a really good movie. If I have any I will say, it's not a perfect movie, but it is a great story. That's what makes it good, is the story and the performances. But, however, there are a little bit of, editing issues and pacing issues. I will say the ending was kind of rushed, I felt like. But it still didn't stop me from liking this movie because it was just a great, inspiring story, and the performances were outstanding, especially from Dakota Fanning. But Alice Eve and Tony Collette as well. So yeah, and again, as an autistic person myself, this movie spoke to me. So that's why I really enjoyed this film. It's an 8 out of 10, at least at the moment, just because a little bit of issues. But I almost want to give it a 9. I almost want this. Maybe by the next watch, it might be one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it. It was so good, and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. If you're autistic or know someone who's autistic, please watch this movie if you can find it. Please Stand By is the name of it. It's really good. And you don't have to be a Star Trek fan to like this movie either, because of course that's a big thing in this movie. But it's it's about autism. It's not about Star Trek. So yeah, but great film. Please stand by. That's my number 2, and would be my number 1 if it wasn't for this movie. This movie, I gave a 10 out of 10. This is now my favorite first watch of this year that I've seen from this year so far. And yeah, whenever I do my updated top 100 favorite movies, this is definitely going to be on there for sure. So my number 1 favorite movie that I watched for the first time in April of 2024 is Falling Down. Yes, directed by Joel Schumacher, starring Michael Douglas, Robert Duvall, and Barbara Hershey. So yeah, this was a movie that I have wanted to watch for a long time. Ever since I first heard of it, I really wanted to watch this movie. I knew a little bit about the premise. I didn't know everything, but I knew a little bit, and it sounded really interesting to me. And I really wanted to watch it. And so, finally, I bought the DVD. I watched it. And I fucking loved this movie. It did not disappoint at all. It was even better than I thought it would be. It was amazing. It was so fucking good. Like, holy shit. Michael Douglas, before I saw this movie, I saw The Game, the David Fincher movie, starring Michael Douglas, and I really loved his performance, and that's what made me want to watch this movie, because I thought he was so good in that movie. He's got to be great in this one, right? Oh yeah, definitely, and even better. Like, he is so fucking good playing this character, this very interesting character. I can't even remember his name, but Foster, yeah, I guess his last name. But Bill Foster. Yeah, Bill Foster is one of the most interesting protagonists I have ever seen in a movie. Like, I don't want to say too much about this character because it will spoil the movie. But man, he wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I did hear that, being a big Simpsons fan that I am, the character there was a character, probably the best, one of, if not the best, one-off characters on The Simpsons, that being Frank Grimes. I would say is a tie between him and Hank Scorpio, being like the best one-off characters, just a character that's only been in one episode. But Frank Grimes, in case you don't know this, Frank Grimes was actually inspired by Bill Foster, and I can definitely see that, because yeah, but basically what I can say is just, this is a movie about a guy who seems normal, but just gets pushed too far to the edge, and he just goes bananas. And that's what I knew about the movie for sure. I already knew it was about that, but there's also something just very, very shocking about this character that you don't know until much later, and I don't want to say anything because it will spoil, but yeah, this is an outstanding film. I think this is a masterpiece, without a doubt. This is a masterpiece, and everybody should watch this. This is just an outstanding film. Like I said, Michael Douglas is amazing. And Robert Duvall is very good in the film as well. And Barbara Hershey is good too. But it's definitely Michael Douglas who steals it. And just, yeah. I don't know what else to say, but it's just an amazing movie that everyone needs to watch. It is It is awesome. I loved Falling Down. And yeah, along with all these monthly ranking videos, I'm also currently working on a ranking of every first watch movie, combining all the movies that I watch from each month. I'm also ranking all of them like all together. And as of right now, this is my number one on that ranking. Poor Things was originally the number one, which was my number one, I think, of last month. But this beat Poor Things. I love Poor Things though, but right now this beat it, and just yeah, this is an amazing film, and I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. So yeah, Falling Down. That's my number one favorite first watch movie of May of 2024. Or no, April. Sorry, this is May. April of 2024. All right, there we go. This video was a little longer than I expected. I usually try not to, I don't really want these to get up to like 40 minutes whenever I do the monthly ranking videos, but if they do get that way, then whatever. I talk a lot, so yeah. And I had quite a bit to say about those last two movies, so yeah. All right, so anyways, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what were your like favorite first watches of April. If you want to do a ranking of all the first watches, that'd be great. And what were your favorites that from this list that I mentioned? Yeah. All right. So please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell. As for the future, I will at least next Wednesday, which will probably be the next Wednesday. I think will be the next video. That will be my ranking for that'll be my ranking for every movie that I watched. All the movies I watched in 2020. I mentioned some of them in this one, and also I got planned either a top 10 or a top 20 of my favorite movies of this decade so far, the 2020 movies. At least so far, whenever the decade is up, and if I'm still doing this channel, of course, I will update it because the decade will be over. So yeah, and also I got something shocking for you. That's a future video that will be coming up. Maybe, I don't know if it will be this. I mean, I don't know if it'll be next Saturday. Probably not, but most likely the next Saturday after that. I got something shocking for you. You're probably not gonna see coming, but yeah. I'm not gonna reveal it, but it'll be coming. Most likely not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. So, yeah. Anyways, but yeah. Anyways, again, thank you guys for watching. I already said please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Alright, so I'll see you guys later. Alright. Peace.